Hey guys, how's it going? It's Andy from Magoo Investing. Happy Wednesday. In a video I made back in December, I talked about my own innovative stock portfolio that I made to try to compete with the ARK ETFs. The ARK ETFs are a family of ETFs that follow innovation, and they were created by Cathie Wood, who's become a very prominent figure in the investing world. And the whole point of me trying to create this innovative portfolio is that, yes, I was trying to outperform it, but I wanted to show that you don't have to just blindly follow these people like Cathie Wood into the dark. You can do your own research and find stocks that you absolutely love that you think are innovative. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the returns of the Magoo innovative portfolio. I talk about how they've done in 2021, and then I'm going to be giving 3 reasons why I'm still bullish on all of these stocks going forward. Because I think it's really important to go back and look at some of the decisions you've made in the past and decide, is it still worth my time to be investing in this type of company? And I've been very impressed with my results already so far. Going into 2021, I have 5 times the ARK K, which is just kind of their flagship ARK ETF. I have 5 times the returns of that ETF so far. So I'd like to share the 10 stocks that I put on this list that I think are innovative in different ways and give the reasoning why I like them for long-term positions. So for the 10 stocks, I'm just going to start off by listing them alphabetically because that's how my computer categorized them. So we have Apple stock, which is down 6.87%, which is kind of surprising. We have Bitcoin, which is up 75%. I'll talk about what my portfolio would look like without that. Then we have Beyond Meat, ticker symbol BYND, that's up 10.4%. Then we have General Electric stock, ticker symbol GE, that's surprisingly up 23.6%. This is a stock that I described as my top stock to buy for 2021, and I thought it was going to be a great recovery play, but I did not expect to see these type of results so early on into 2021. Then we have Lemonade stock, ticker symbol LMND, which is down 8.9%. You have Peloton stock, ticker symbol PTON, which has been one of the biggest losers of the S&P 500 so far this year, being down 27.8%. It's probably going to get its own video explaining why I'm kind of leaning towards buying in at this point. Then we have PayPal stock, ticker symbol PYPL, which is up 10.9%. We have Roku, ticker symbol ROKU, that's up 16.3%. We have Stitch Fix, ticker symbol SFIX, which is up 25.6%. And then we have Twitter stock, ticker symbol TWTR, that's up 33%. When you average it out, assuming that all 10 of these positions make up 1/10 of the overall portfolio, there would be total returns of 15.12% so far, and it is March 3rd of 2021. So we're officially 2 months into the year. So far, ARK K, which is their flagship ETF, it just has the general innovation ETF, so far is up 3.05% in 2021. So as of right now, I have 3 times the returns of the ARK ETF, which I'm very proud about so far. And since I was curious how the returns would look like without Bitcoin's 75% returns, if I took Bitcoin out and I made it, each stock was 1/9 of my overall portfolio, I'd still have returns of 8.47%. So I'm very impressed with these numbers, and I'm happy that I was able to pick stocks that, 1, I absolutely love, and 2, have been outperforming the overall market and the ARK ETFs in general. I'm really happy to see that even with a big loser like Peloton that's down almost 28% so far in 2021, my portfolio is still well in the green. And that kind of shows the importance of picking a variety of stocks and not putting all of your eggs in one basket. I love Peloton for the long term, but as of right now, if that was the only stock in my portfolio, I'd be hurting pretty bad. So I think around 10 stocks is the perfect area. Maybe between 5 and 10 stocks that you absolutely love, I think is the ideal portfolio size. But I'm very curious to see how many stocks you guys own in the comment section down below. So let's go through and talk about all 10 of these stocks. And I'm going to try to give a quick summary, give 3 reasons why I like all of these stocks for long-term investments, and just talk about some of the things that I'm watching going forward. So stock number 1 is going to be Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. Here are the 3 reasons why I love Apple for a long-term investment, and it's kind of surprising that it is down almost 7% so far in 2021. Number 1, it's the largest US company out there, being a $2 trillion company. But when I'm looking at places to invest, there is some security when it comes to investing in larger companies, because if things go poorly in the overall economy or with the stock market, these larger companies often have less volatile moves. So if we see a major move in the market to the downside, Apple will be relatively safe compared to the overall market because it has lower volatility than some of the high flyers that we saw in 2020. Number 2, last quarter, Apple saw some very impressive numbers. And one of the things that really stuck out to me is that iPhone sales outpaced Samsung for the first time since Q4 of 2016. The iPhones have been a dominant force in the smartphone market, but seeing them finally outperform Samsung is a very impressive move, and seeing that we're making the switch into 5G, I think this puts Apple in a great spot going forward. And then number 3, we have fantastic growth opportunities with the Apple Car. At this point, it is still years away, but it gives some long-term growth potential to the company. I think Apple releasing the Apple Car will be a huge momentum driver, especially for revenue growth in the future. The number 2 stock on this list is Bitcoin, which I can just put as BTC, which is up 75% so far in 2021. Here's 3 reasons why I'm bullish on Bitcoin overall. Number 1, it has become very mainstream with companies like Tesla announcing that, 1, they actually bought Bitcoin, and they're talking about the potential of using Bitcoin for transactions to actually be able to buy Tesla products. Number 2, it's become easier for people to buy into cryptocurrency overall. You have platforms like PayPal, which owns stuff like Venmo, and then you have Square, which owns stuff like the Cash App. That's been allowing customers to buy and sell cryptocurrency on the platform, which has allowed more people to get involved with the cryptocurrency space. And number three, I think it's just a really exciting place to invest. I love the idea of a decentralized currency, and it's a very exciting place. And while I don't fully understand it, it's a place that I've been invested for around 4 years, and I plan to continue investing in Bitcoin going forward. Number three, let's talk about Beyond Meat, ticker symbol BYND. That's currently up 10.4% so far in 2021. Number one, it's been a dominant force in the plant-based meat market. When you look at some of its main competitors, you have stuff like Impossible that currently has some lawsuits out that's likely going to prevent them from going IPO until later on in 2021. So you have Beyond Meat as being the best place to invest to get involved in this type of sector. Two, the industry is expected to grow significantly in the upcoming years. They expect to grow 19 times bigger by 2030 and become an $85 billion industry. So this is a fantastic growth opportunity for Beyond Meat. And then number three, I love its impact on carbon emissions. As of right now, around 15% of the total carbon emissions per year comes from livestock. And while we're not going to be able to remove this currently, being able to reduce that number is going to push us in the right direction for our carbon emission targets. Number four is actually my top stock to buy for 2021. It's going to be General Electric stock, ticker symbol GE, which is currently up 23.6%. Here's the three reasons why I love GE for a long-term play. Number one is I think it's a fantastic recovery play. At the end of 2020, some of the stocks that I was buying were stuff like the airline. Going forward, I still think GE has a long way to recover because their largest and most profitable part of their business comes from aviation, which has still been hurt based off of the travel demands that we've seen falling in 2020 and going into 2021. Two, they're involved in some very impressive green projects, especially with wind banks that we've seen in Lithuania and off the coast of the UK. So this is pushing the renewable energy forward, and being involved with that, I think has a lot of growth potential for a company like GE. And number three, I think this is a company that is very cheap compared to its historical range. They have struggled in the past couple years, but they've been cutting costs. I think they've put themselves in a great spot to succeed long term. That's why I thought it was a cheap stock to buy going into 2021, and it's why I put it as my top stock to buy overall. And stock number five on this list is going to be Lemonade, ticker symbol LMND, which is currently down 8.9% on the year. Here's three reasons why I love this insurance company for a long-term investment. The first and probably the biggest reason is that it is a B Corp. That means that they reach high performance for social and environmental performance, transparency, and accountability. There aren't that many B Corps out there that are publicly traded, and I think that's a huge reason why I love this stock for a long-term investment. Number two, instead of just pocketing all of the premiums that don't get paid out in claims, they allow the customers to decide what type of charities they want to donate that money to. And so while this is going to limit the amount of money they're making overall, I think this is a great cause to be investing in, and it's a reason why I love this company long-term. And number three, they're disrupting a business that has been super stale for the past 100 years, the insurance business. So this is a very new and exciting business that is targeted at the younger demographics, and I think that's going to push them into success for the long term. Next up is going to be Peloton, ticker symbol PTON, which is down almost 28% so far in 2021 and has been one of the biggest losers of the overall stock market. But here's three reasons why I love Peloton for a long-term investment, even though it's been hit pretty hard so far in 2021. Number one is the brand loyalty for Peloton is so incredibly high. As of right now, their retention rate is 96%, meaning when people buy in, they don't leave. And that goes into number two for the reasons why I love Peloton. It has to do with reoccurring payments. I love subscription models for companies because it brings in recurring payments that are going to help their revenue over time, and it allows them to increase their margins because they don't have to pay for the materials to build the actual bike. So as more people get involved, their margins are going to continue to increase, and their retention rate is going to help that moving forward. And then number three, the reason that they're down is they've been having problems with their supply chain, but they've been investing in logistics solutions that are going to hopefully fix that going forward. And I think of this as being a very short-term problem and not a long-term problem to the company. The demand is still super high, and that's why I see this as a short-term problem and a reason why I like it for a long-term position. Stock number seven is going to be PayPal, ticker symbol PYPL, which is currently up 10.9% in 2021. And here's the reasons why I love PayPal for a long-term investment. Number one has to do with their growth. They saw a 72% increase in their users year over year in 2020 compared to 2019. And they've been very ambitious, talking about how they want to get to 750 million users in the next 5 years, while they're currently sitting at 302 million users. Number two is that they've allowed their users to buy and sell cryptocurrency on the platform, which has also pushed up the price of something like a Bitcoin. And then number three, this is a stock that's always seen incredible growth when it comes to revenue. Since they went public in 2015, they've always had quarterly year-over-year growth for their revenue above 10%, and for the past 3 quarters, that number has sat above 20%. So this is a company that is rapidly growing with their user base, and they're bringing more and more money into the platform. Number 8 is going to be Roku, ticker symbol ROKU, which is currently up 16.3% so far in 2021. And here's the 3 reasons why I love Roku for a long-term investment. Number 1 is I think Roku is in a great spot for the cord-cutting movement. As of right now, 33% of US households have cut the cord completely, and And that is a force that's going to continue to help Roku going forward. Number 2, Roku currently has around 40% of the streaming market. They keep releasing new products and they've been expanding their reach over time, and I expect that 40% of the market number to increase over the upcoming years. As of right now, they have all of the major streaming services available on Roku. This was a huge problem in the past. As streaming continues to increase over time, this puts Roku in a great spot going forward. Stock number 9 is going to be Stitch Fix, ticker symbol SIFX, which is up 25.6% so far in 2021. And here's 3 reasons why I like Stitch Fix for a long-term investment. Number 1, this is a platform that I think is absolutely genius. I'm someone that hates going to physical retailers to try on clothes, and the ability to get stuff shipped to my house, try it on, and only pay for the stuff I love the concept of this business. Number 2, this is a relatively new company that has seen very nice revenue growth for every year since they've gone public. In 2020, they saw an 8.5% increase in revenue with the pandemic problems, a 28.6% increase in 2019, and a 25.5% increase in 2018. So this is a company that has seen reliable growth over time. And number 3, their last earnings report was very impressive. They saw a net increase of 240,000 customers, and they went back to profitability. So this is a company that has had a fantastic track record, and I only see them increasing after we've seen the problems that's happened with retail stores. And the number 10 stock on this list is going to be Twitter, ticker symbol TWTR, that is currently up 33% in 2021. And here's the 3 reasons why I love Twitter for a long-term investment. Number 1, they've announced that they're finally going to be announcing a subscription model going forward. This is going to bring in recurring payments, which I absolutely love, and it's going to help them build their revenue growth over time. Number 2 is that this is a platform that I think has become synonymous with public information and politics. It's no longer just a platform for posting memes, and I think that's really legitimized the business and makes me feel very optimistic that Twitter is not a fad and it's going to be staying around for the long term. And then number 3, now that we're not in an election year, I think advertisers are going to be much more likely to be spending money on the platform for advertising. It is not as much of a politically charged climate on Twitter as much. It definitely still is, but it's not as bad as it was. So I think advertisers are going to be flocking there compared to what they've done in the past. So overall, that was my 10 stock innovative portfolio list. I think it's very impressive that it has returned 15% compared to the ARK ETF. That's only up 3% as of right now. I'm going to be checking on this portfolio in a couple months just to kind of see how it's done, but I think it's very interesting to always compare what you're doing to see how it's done compared to the overall market. And I love the fact that I've been beating the overall market, and if you take out the Bitcoin investment, it'd still be up around 8.6%, which is still outperforming the overall market. So let me know what you thought about my innovative stock list, and let me know what stocks you guys would add to this list to make it more towards your likings. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate all the support, and I will see you next time.